I had this opportunity to uh, help raise money for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. There are no kid-focused treatments for leukemia. They're receiving adult treatments at reduced doses. And when I heard that, I was just completely shocked that that was the state. And yet the LLS, Leukemia Lymphoma Society, are ready to go with clinical trials for a new treatment that would remove chemotherapy, would take chemotherapy out of the picture and replace it with a pill-based treatment. So you can get rid of chemotherapy, get rid of all of the terrible health outcomes, because what ends up happening is later in life they have side effects from the treatment. The cure ends up, can even end up killing them. Like you can, survive childhood leukemia and then die from chemotherapy and side effects and immune, suppressed immune systems, organ failure, like all these terrible things kind of end up happening later on down the line. And trying to, get past this terrible era where that's the reality to this new technology where they're able to take a genetic marker from the cancer. They're able to identify the genetic makeup of the cancer in the specific person and create a treatment using stem cells that goes back into them through a pill and goes and attacks the cancer instead of using chemotherapy to kind of chemotherapy to kill everything. You're able to do a super targeted, very specific, bespoke treatment for a very specific person. And the science is in, it works. We're just need the funding to go to clinical trials. So I'm a cancer survivor. I had Hodgkin's disease back in 1998, which is a lymphoma. I'm here today. I survived because of clinical trials. And then over those 30 years between that time, the time I got it, there were clinical trials and science and research that was done. People who died with hope that they were in a trial that was going to work, and people who lived that led to it being a really specific treatment that had a very high rate of success. And so I always wanted to find a give back. I always wanted to figure out how I could, pay off that karmic debt of giving back. I never had really figured out a good way to do it, and this opportunity came up to join this program called Visionaries of the Year, which is sort of a sprint to fundraise for the LLS. And I've been sitting around for 6 weeks thinking about it. It's a 10-week program, but I sat around for 6 weeks thinking about it. And they're like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm thinking. I gotta have a vision. I don't know." And the vision finally showed up. I said, "I'll make something called 10,000 Heroes, if I could," because I did the math. I was like, if 10,000 people gave $100, we could raise $1 million. I'm like, that's fantastic. So as I rolled it around and thought about it for the 6 weeks, now I have 4 weeks left in the program. So we're kind of in this sprint to spread awareness about 10,000 Heroes, see if we can use that sort of ticking clock to get people to donate by May 18th. I'm working on getting a telethon together, like a YouTube telethon, where we bring in all these animation folks and we don't I'll do like Jerry Lewis telethon we used to have here in the States every Labor Day. Like I'll do a 24-hour, podcast kind of YouTube telethon, and every hour we'll bring in new animation crews and voice actors. And I don't even know if I can get this together, but I'm trying to get it together by May 11th, which is 2 weeks away. So sometimes just throwing things together, it works, and we'll see if I can pull that off. But I'm really going to keep the campaign going. It's starting to resonate. I'm getting some traction. I've also got Mattel on board. They're coming on board. They've come on board as corporate partners with me in the program. They don't really do fundraising, but they do give away toys and products to kids who have illnesses, and they have a fabulous program through Play It Forward. That's their charitable arm, and they have a Barbie who's called Brave Barbie, and she's bald. Her hair comes off, and you can see like a kid who's going through chemotherapy can see a Barbie that looks like them and can understand that they're beautiful, no matter what, hair or no hair. And they've given 100,000 of Brave Barbies away over 10 years. And so it's a program that like a lot of people don't even know exists. It's such a great program, and there's such great people running that over at Mattel. So partnering with them has been great. Connecting them to the Leukemia Lymphoma Society because they didn't know each other. So I'm just sort of connecting dots where I can, and then reaching out into connections that I have, friends in my network that are on a corporate level, looking for corporate donations on sort of that level, looking for grassroots donations just through my own social network and throughout the animation community, gathering those folks together. I'm sort of just doing everything I can do within my sphere of influence to try to figure out how I can help, what I can do. So the next 4 weeks are sort of this campaign that we're on, but really I'm going to keep extending and growing out 10,000 heroes. The long tail of it is we're going to go 10,000 heroes. It'll eventually become 100,000 heroes, and then we'll have a million heroes. Like letting this thing evolve over time, and we're just in the earliest days of getting that going. But the immediate ask is anybody who hears this message or knows anyone who's been touched by leukemia, lymphoma, and be willing to donate. Of course, we'll take any donation size, but the math is, if you can donate $100, be one of our 10,000 heroes, it'll help us raise $1 million, and it'll go right to running these clinical trials. And we're going to end chemotherapy for kids with cancer. I mean, there couldn't be a better cause. And it would literally change the world, save millions of kids from this horrible, horrible process, and create a bespoke treatment for leukemia that should have always been here. It existed. Blows my mind that it doesn't, but I'll be damned if I'm going to get off this earth before I don't do everything I can to try to make that happen. So I'm super passionate about it and into it. And the people at LLS are fantastic. They're just such a great group of people. So I'm trying to help them tell this story, find this reach, and raise these funds. Only thing standing between us and the cure is the money. So let's go get the money. Let's figure it out.